Good morning, class. Today's topic for discussion is matter in our surroundings. Let us start with the definition of matter. What is matter? Matter is anything which has mass and it has volume, not the other way around. Matter has mass and volume, and it's a very important 2-mark question. Let me remind you, important 2-mark question. Matter has mass.
That is not how you want to learn, do you? Because I had my cousin sister and she was a very bright student. She began and she used to love solving puzzles. She incredibly enjoyed learning. And all of a sudden in 9th standard, what she began to do was every sentence became something that you remember. For example, what you would say is matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Newton's first law is any object at rest will remain at rest and any object in motion will remain in motion. Newton's second law became so many things that after a point, everything became sentences that you repeat. And the more times you repeat it, the more you're supposed to understand it. Now that is not learning, is it? So what we're going to do here is going to try and see how we can make it so that learning becomes that much more enjoyable. Because when you enjoy learning, you're going to start applying it even more. And the more you begin to enjoy learning, the more you're going to start learning new subjects, new things that are beyond the textbook because you really enjoy just the process of learning something new. So let us begin now. One of the things that I noticed is so many students always say, I have a strong subject and I have a very weak subject. It's always true. They somehow believe that there are some subjects they're good at and some subjects that are bad at. And every single time somebody tells me that they have a weak subject, right? If you go back into their past, there is one of the two things that is always true. Either they did badly in one subject and decided that in one subject in one test or 2 tests maximum and decided I must be bad at this subject. Or they had a bad teacher, or let's put it more subtly, a teacher who made them feel bad for any reason at all. And they attached that bad feeling to that subject. One of the two, either bad subject or bad marks. If you have any other thing, write to me and I'll add that to the reasons, but I have not found anything else up till now. So what I found out was that people who believed they were weak in a subject didn't really study that subject much. And that is kind of stupid, isn't it? Because when I noticed was that when you represent a subject in a wrong manner, obviously you don't understand it. And what do I mean by a wrong manner? In a few classes or in some time, you're going to start finding out what Newton's laws are. Newton's second law being, if you look at Newton's second law, and if you remember it as the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force in the same direction as the change of momentum. What is that? Yeah, you can write that 5 times, 10 times, 40 times, 1,000 times, but as long as you keep writing that over and over again or saying it over and over again in that manner, it doesn't make any sense. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force in the direction of change. What in the world, right? So the more and more we do that, and then we'll believe, I did that 1,000 times and I still don't understand. I must be weak at the subject. Yeah, not really. Because when you change the way you begin to start looking at it, you will notice how much more easier it is than you ever expected. And what we're going to do is once you start learning this and once you start enjoying learning new things, you'll begin to understand that it's just a matter of how you represent it inside your mind. Inside your mind, is it a simple picture? That's what it is. And great, you understand. So in our journey here, what we're going to do is make it so that things are simplified. And you start doing things just for the purpose of enjoying them and understanding. And there is always what we need to go for is the aha moments, right? You get something new, you're bewildered by it, you have no idea what it is because we are going to throw so many things at you which you're going to be bewildered by. You have no idea what they are and that is your job. Your job is to not know. As a student, your job is to not know. Isn't that great? That's what we expect from you, to not know. And we expect one thing more than that, and that is to be curious. Because when you feel curious, you begin to start learning. And when you feel curious, and when you see something that you don't know, you ask the question, what is that? You begin to feel a sense of childlike wonderment. Because I know that we all had a childlike curiosity, and some of us still have it. And I know a lot of you still have it. Yeah. When you were a kid, you had no idea what you were doing. Every little thing was brimming with possibility. A little street next to your house could be filled with so much possibility. A little house, a little box, a little wrapped gift on your birthday meant that you could feel so curious. You were curious about what's inside. So throughout this journey, we're going to give you more and more wrapped presents. And our job, we spend a lot of time wrapping them. Because otherwise it's boring. We could just give you, hey, this is what it is. But the more and more time you spend wrapping them, the more and more you have fun unwrapping them and unraveling what it is that is inside. So we're going to pique your curiosity and find out what's going to happen as you begin to learn really, really well. Now let's begin. When I was a kid, right, whenever it used to rain, little puddles used to form, and me being me, about 3 years old, right, I wanted to go and jump into them. They look very fascinating, right? It was a whole world of possibility there. A little puddle, you could put little boats into it, you could do whatever you want. But my granny didn't really want me to do that, and she ended up doing something very mean, okay? She told me that these puddles become very, very deep. I'll sink into them if I put my feet into them. It installed a phobia in me, I used to look at those puddles and think, oh my God, they're really, really deep. But I always had the question, right? The puddles come, and then once they dry up, the road is very flat. Where exactly suddenly when the water comes, how do they become really, really deep? And I had questions like when, how, where, how do these holes form? Somehow I never decided to question, was my grandmother lying to me? That didn't occur to me. I don't know why. It's too innocent that time. And then when I asked my mother, I asked her, Granny's saying that, I'm going to sink. Is that true? And my mom was like, it's connected to the drainage. And it's not really that you'll sink, but you'll just flow into the drainage and you'll go off into the, the sewer. I don't know why adults have this sadistic pleasure in lying to children and really screwing up their lives. Because I spent years trying to understand how could this be possible until I realized, okay, that is what it was. And you know what it was. Now the thing is, when we are kids, we have this spirit of unabandoned questioning, right? We don't care. We question everything. And the more we begin to do that, because what we want you to do is to keep that intact. Because people might say, it is 9th standard. Therefore, you must become very serious from now on. All playing is over. No, we're saying play even more. Yeah, just change the things you're playing with and change the amount you're playing with. Play even more. So that you begin to start unleashing your curiosity. Because then we can begin to have a situation where you walk into a class with insane questions. You go into a class thinking, how much new can I learn today? What more new things can I understand today? How many more questions can I ask? Thereby, when you enter the classroom, you're not going, when is the lunch break? Oh, I don't understand. I am weak in this subject. And none of that, Yeah, what you go inside doing is, how much more can I learn? Because not knowing is your job. And the more you begin to do that, we can create the vision that we really want, which is the teacher, before stepping into the class, goes, I don't want to go into this class. I don't know what they're going to ask me. What all questions these people have, That's the kind of situation you want to create, not the other way. So let us begin to unleash your curiosity. Let it flow. Let it run like wildfire, and let's see what happens. And let's see how much you begin to learn now.